I'm just curious, in terms of your shows, of all the social issues you talk about, do you think that the trans stuff is at the top 3?
Well, I don't think we've talked about trans for like a year and a half, maybe 1 or 2 episodes in a year and a half.
A non-binary person or whatever.
LGB.
No,
LGB.
no. There's going to be trans and queers there, you bigot.
Yeah.
The biggest damage is for people who think that they're transgender. I mean, they have been sold a lie.
And politicians still not knowing what a woman is.
Can a woman have a penis?
Yes.
On one side, you have thousands of years of gender binary history, scientific and medical consensus, and basic common sense. On the other, you have confused children, mediocre athletes who want a leg up, and the mentally disturbed.
Didn't know what an illegal immigrant was, let alone a woman.
The Democrats were the party which committed itself to transgender surgeries for illegal aliens and then failed to actually perform any. If opposing this insanity makes me right-wing, so be it. If you've got a penis and you've got male testosterone and male bone structure, you're not a woman. Trans flags flown at half-mast in leafy London suburbs.
These violent trans rings.
I'm left-leaning, but I'm not all the way over here, trans ideologist.
The Trans Voices Choir for children for 5+.
Kids being mutilated through transgender surgeries.
Over there with a mini skirt with his knob hanging out, I don't think it's a woman.
Such as open borders, legalized crime, rampant homelessness, and gender ideology.
Candace and Tucker have gone trans on us.
So where does all of this leave the concept of gender and gender identity, which is to say, I'm non-binary, I am this gender, I'm that gender, I'm cat gender, I'm whatever.
Sudden obsession with transgenderism.
All the evidence points to the fact that this was a trans-related ally, leftist, quote-unquote anti-fascist crazy guy. It's often been claimed that asking politicians what a woman is a gotcha question.
The anti-woke forces have won a massive victory when it comes to gender ideology.
Yes. If you're a black trans lesbian, you are on the pedestal and you are to be celebrated, right?
Boys and girls locker rooms, and then you have people, the boys, and the trans issue.
A lot of them, if you probably ask them, there'll be a good selection, probably still don't know what a woman is. Now means exactly the same thing as the word woman, in that it's meaningless. Anyone can now be one, and if the Dems say you are one, then you're definitely not.
Sort of widespread bullying, harassment of civil servants for holding gender critical beliefs.
That's why I identify as politically non-binary.
Disgusting.
It's transphobia. I'm a boy, I'm a girl. Someone's a man, they're saying they're a girl, they're having a tantrum.
And you'd say, well, men can't become women. Oh my God, you're transphobic. They're making up these things that,
And the staff who all think they're non-binary,
The emperor could strut around the palace naked with her penis on full display.
All of these public health policies that have been pushed through on the basis of this notion of gender identity, which is a supernatural belief.
They want to compel people to use their preferred gender pronoun.
UK Supreme Court says legal definition of woman excludes trans women. Starmer infamously failed this basic test of integrity and common sense before the last election.
A woman can have a penis.
Look, I'm not.
Save the poor illegal immigrants and the trans kids and whatever, right?
So they're just kids who are going to grow up gay, basically. The NHS has been practicing gay conversion therapy.
You're giving a musical about a transgender gangster? I mean, really?
Trans people in bathrooms.
And be like, tell me your views about how to chop your dick off.
Would that even be able to be made now, or would that be perceived to be transphobic?
As expected, the venue didn't have any gender-fluid restrooms.
And they say, doctor, no, my child is trans and I want the surgery.
Correcting each other about whether you're allowed to call a trans girl a boy and all this other shit. And just going,
transgender surgeries for prisoners.
LGBTQ, the trans stuff.
You forgot the IA+.
Trans ideology and its attack on women's and girls' safety.
There's a lot of the social contagion of gender dysphoria.
Is it really a woman?
The third worlders, the Mexicans and the Muslim, they're voting against trans.
This idea that a child can identify as another gender and suddenly they're able to consent to all these medical interventions. Why is there a trans person in my Star Wars movie? And then you've got this fringe element who you want to talk about transgender rabbits or whatever it is, you know, and making
rabbits who identify as bunnies.
Yeah, rabbits who identify as bunnies and whether that is acceptable. And we need to have a debate about the language but how we address bunnies. Transvestites, as he called them at the time.
Non-binary aliens.
Then you've got people on the left going, well, who knows what a woman is? Let's come and invade your space and let's make sure we can take part in your sports. They're pumping out all of this stuff. Gender is a social construct.
Be they gay, be they women, be they trans. And he walked around in his dress with pearls and talked in his fluty voice, and that was supposed to turn him into a woman.
Provided they're a trans black woman.
Yes, well, yeah.
The son transitioned to a girl at age 5.
You'd expect the left to have their dicks out and going, this is amazing. The only thing that could be better if he was trans.
Look at Caitlyn Jenner, she's a millionaire.
Yeah.
we identify as politically non-binary.
A while ago, I wrote a column about someone who described himself as a pregnant man.
She basically was a little bit mean about transgender ideology, and he made a joke which was about, if you see a trans woman in the toilets, do this, or if that doesn't work, punch her in the balls.
Yeah. You know, this trans stuff is insane. It's just insane. It's so insane what's going on. And I mean, there's some AI models, you ask them what a woman is, and it starts behaving like, you know, Denise from HR.
Right. I think she had to seek asylum for because she misgendered someone.
Because, by the way, gender and sex used to mean the same thing.
Yes.
And they, in my head, they do still mean the same thing.
The transgenderism or lack thereof.
Because would the government put on a transphobic comedian? Whatever that means.
It means that you can't do what the media wants you to do, which is screw everybody and change your sex and cut your children's penises off. And that's basically what they're playing for, you know?
Everyone's gender fluid and all of this.
And then you've got people on the left going, well, who knows what a woman is? Let's come and invade your space and let's make sure we can take part in your sports.
On all the cultural issues, on the fucking trans thing, on the gender thing.
What is the correct thing to call a gender fluid transracial dwarf?
You can't be a man who claims that 99.9% of women don't have a penis, but 0.1% of women do.
If you can discover that actually the Vikings were all trans.
Yeah. Fine, I just identify as a queer, non-binary, trans cat.
And well, that's the transvestite reading Hop on Pop to 6-year-olds at the public library, and you go.
They do not believe there are only two sexes. They think, you know, gender, whatever that word means. That's one I try to avoid. That it's a spectrum, which is a load of nonsense.
You don't remember how a year ago you didn't know what a woman was? My favorite, however, was the juxtaposition of a man, I think, with a placard which read, trans people are not a threat.
Concepts of male and female are in the whole gender ideology. It's based on crude stereotypes.
So you're someone who campaigns on a number of issues, one of them being trans ideology.
Narcissistic, failed male athletes should not find refuge because they can't beat other guys in girl sports.
To gaslight the public about everything from transgenderism to COVID to war. Bringing in all of this latest LGB fucking endless acronyms into it.
A non-binary dancer who was converting their dance moves into renewable energy.
Guess he must think the latter's beheadings of the former is just extreme gender-affirming surgery.
This culture of wokeness, of the breaking the non-binary and the gender stuff.
President Kamala Harris is for transgender inmates receiving surgeries, and it was like, this is what your taxpayer dollars are going to.
Well, I find actually the rather dull subject of transgender issue.
Biological men who think they're women.
He's got his pronouns in his bio, so he doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah, well, there's a non-binary genocide going on in the movies.
With rapid onset gender dysphoria, where there's something, you start to see a migration of dark tetrad types to that.
What about transphobia? I screamed at the top of my lungs.
The gender pronouns on email, it's all crap, it's bullshit, but I can't do anything about it.
When that transgender person went in that school and shot those kids.
So God is anti-trans, God's a transphobe.
The mutilation of children in the name of trans ideology.
They want to compel people to use their preferred gender pronouns.
Maybe you can be any gender you want, etc., etc., etc. That is not liberalism.
Yeah, well, it's non-binary characters.
If you say something that about your identity, now it's true. Like, if I say I'm a woman, I become a woman in that moment.
Yeah, just wear a skirt, hang out with the girls, wait for the men to get back home. I'll have a tissue, I'll wave at you like this. Okay, boys.
What does a woman feel like? I don't know, I don't feel it, I don't feel feminine, therefore I must be a boy.
I'm astral gendered. I'm this gender.
Apart from Pakistan and Iran, who are transitioning gay men into women faster than you can shout the words, "Yes, Queen."
We're actually talking about the one thing that we should be talking about, which is the gender ideology.
Because somebody has come in and said, I identify as a woman, still got a penis, by the way.
Non-binary Joan of Arc, pregnant men.
And particularly when it comes to surgery and puberty blockers, etc., because it's like there's money to be made from this.
Well, I don't think we've talked about trans for like a year and a half, maybe 1 or 2 episodes in a year and a half.